I was having lunch with a friend of mine at work. Her name is Susan. And she was telling me about her grandchild who was at summer camp. And her daughter had been telling Susan that her child had met this girl at camp. And they were madly in love with each other. And Susan's daughter said, "Mom, I think we have to start planning the wedding." And Susan said, "Don't you think we need to bar mitzvah him first?" First things first. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, honored guests. First things first is habit number 3 of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And for Toastmasters trying to achieve their competent communication level, thank you. First things first is a very, very important concept. Some of us fly through speeches. Some of us procrastinate and take 2 years to finish our 10 speeches. Using first things first is a way to allay fears and to prevent procrastination. So I am going to use first things first as an acronym. FIRST. F and I, focus on your interests. This is one way to get started on your speeches. Now, Marina was kind enough to give us a little notebook tonight, which I think was just perfect timing. My suggestion is to write down your interests in this journal. Anything that comes to you. It could be a cartoon that you saw, it could be a conversation that you overheard, or it could be something in your life that is of interest that you'd like to share with other people. It doesn't matter how outlandish the idea is. For me, it's an opportunity to be creative, and that's why I love Toastmasters, because basically I don't get to write. This is an opportunity for me to write and be creative. It doesn't matter how crazy the idea is. For instance, my first talk was, I brought different pieces of artwork, which for me reflected phases of my life. I've also talked about swimming, I've talked about yoga, I've talked about travel. 3 of the things that I adore doing. I start typing, and other people may like to use outlines. It's totally up to you, but go to your journal. This is where you can start and have some ideas. So F and I, focused on interests. R, revise and rehearse. Revise your speeches. Sometimes I have to revise mine 2 or 3 times, which means I go and retype them. But rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. It's kind of like location, location, location. It's the same thing. Rehearse. I rehearse with my parents. I rehearse with my friends. They help me to determine what's ridiculous or what doesn't flow smoothly or what's funny or what's not funny. And it helps me to become more comfortable in speaking and to hopefully have this be fun. So F and I, focus on your interests. R, revise and rehearse your speeches. S, stand and deliver. Now you've practiced, so you should be able to come up here with confidence and smile if you can. Some of us, it's a little nerve-wracking, so we can't smile too much. Stand and deliver. You've practiced, you're well rehearsed, hopefully this is fun, and sincerely make eye contact with people. It makes people feel included. And the last point in S is know that people really do want to hear what you have to say. Now some people's body languages may not reflect it. They may look like they're bored to death, but keep going. Keep going, keep going with your speeches. So F and I are revise and rehearse, S, stand and deliver, and T, which is my favorite, is trumpet. Trumpet yourself. Now, when I lived in New Orleans, you all have heard a little bit about that. There's a levee along the Mississippi River, and I used to walk on the levee so often, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And as you know, New Orleans is below sea level, so the levee was a little bit above the Mississippi, and there was an incline. There was a little bit of a hill, and on either side of this hill was a sign that said, "Blow your horn," because presumably you wouldn't be able to see people coming in the other direction. So my girlfriend and I used to always, when we would pass Blow the Horn, we would say something that we had done good that day, something that had happened to us that was fun, some accomplishment that we had finished. T, trumpet, blow your horn. This takes courage, you guys, to come up here and talk. So blow your horn, trumpet yourself. With that, I am going to ask everybody to please jot down right now 5 ideas that they have from hearing this speech. Just take a couple of, maybe half a minute. 5 ideas that you have, 5 of your interests that you might be able to use in upcoming speeches. Take a half a minute to do that. Everybody got 5 of these speeches? Or 5 interests that you might want to talk about? That's the first place to start, is with your interests. And with that, I thank you very much for your attention and your time and your laughter.